Was I afraid of EVs when they came out first? You're absolutely right, I was. Was I afraid about kind of there wouldn't be enough charge in them and all that kind of stuff? I absolutely was. Am I afraid anymore? Not a bit. I really like driving this car lately. Sometimes on bank holidays where I'm off for a couple of days, I was always afraid to drive an EV, but it's gone. I'm not afraid anymore. Let me show you what I mean. So the first part of my journey Friday evening is about 80 kilometres to get up to Skryne in County Meath, and then the next morning I got up and I drove into Navan. Navan's about maybe 14-15 kilometres from where I live. And like what I'm trying to show you is just the type of driving I did over the weekend without thinking about charging. Plenty of traffic in Navan as usual, so I just went into a shop because I needed to buy something. Oliver Goff's in Navan, that is a busy place. I have to say, if you're buying machines or anything like that, try and buy it somewhere. Like you can buy loads of stuff off the internet, Temu and all these kind of things, and they're probably cheap, but when they break down, it's a different story. So I think you've got to buy somewhere where they can get parts and they know what they're talking about. So I left there, went back out to Skryne, and again, that's about another 14-15 kilometres, something like that. Got out, realised there was a bit of an issue, so I had to go back into Navan again. So another 14-15 kilometres back into Navan, and problem sorted. Tiny adjustment. Buy local, lads, buy local. So back out to Skryne again, 13-14 kilometres back out to Skryne. And one thing I noticed over the weekend, the weather is so changeable over the weekend. Anyway, after that we went back into Ashburn this time just to meet some family, and we need to do some shopping and stuff like that as well. So Ashburn's about 14-15 kilometres, something like that. I suppose at this point I'm not even thinking about looking at charging and all that kind of stuff. I'm just using the car like a normal car because it is a car. So I managed to sneak in a bit of an ice cream there as well. So back out to Skryne, that's about again 14-ish kilometres, something like that. Then I did a bit of work in the garden, so I left the car running so I could listen to the radio. I actually left the car running for 4 hours listening to the radio. That was fine. And then later on that night I went for a jog to go for where I want to go jogging at this hour of the night and not get attacked by wild animals. I drive into a place in Skryne which is about 7 or 8 kilometres from where I live. Did that, back out to the house, which again 7 or 8 kilometres. Next morning back into Ashburn, which is, like we said, about 13-14 kilometres, something like that. My hair's getting a little bit out of control at that point, so went in, got a haircut, that's fine. And then back out to the house again, another 13 or 14 kilometres, so that's back out to Skryne. And then we went to Portlaoise, which is about 125 kilometres, just to meet my own parents. So grab a bit of dinner, that's fine. Not quite in Portlaoise, just outside Portlaoise, somewhere called the Heath. So after that, had to do a job in Portlaoise, so went into Portlaoise town, which again is another 4 or 5 kilometres, something like that. Just do a bit of a job at a house there. And then we loaded back up the car, and we headed back up to Kildare this time. So that is about 40 odd kilometres, something like that, going from Portlaoise up to Kildare. And again, never once was I ever thinking about charging or even looking at it. I just drove the car like I'd normally drive any car. And like we were saying before, on bank holiday weekends I would have avoided an electric car a couple of years ago because I would have been worried about flexibility and charging, but I'm just not anymore. I got to the garage with say 30%, so there's still about 139 kilometres left. For anyone that's curious, I was averaging about 14.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres. And genuinely, when we started selling EVs first, I was kind of afraid to drive them long distance because I was always worried about, range anxiety. And I really don't anymore. Like, still 150 kilometres left, and I did a good bit of rooting around at the weekend. They drive nice. Anyway, the only reason I've stopped in is because I need to pick this up because I have to go pick up a shower because the other one's broken. Reason for the video, because you're probably saying to yourself, but hey, any car can do what you just did over the weekend. That's my point. For most people, you can treat this like any car. It's going to do what any car does. I actually think it's a really nice car to drive, and yeah, I know it's an awkward shape and it's not for everyone, but actually that's what I like about this car. We sell every fuel type at the garage, so I've absolutely no agenda when it comes to electric, but the governments of Europe do, but they do drive really well. I can't believe it, I'm actually at a point where I prefer now driving EVs over combustion engine cars. Okay, final conclusion. For people that watch electric car drivers driving around kind of going, how are they not worried about charging? And these people are just going about their business and they don't seem to worry about charging. You kind of have to experience to understand it, because once you do, you don't really care. So I think the people that actually probably worry about it more are the people that have never had an electric car and spent a bit of time with them. So it's probably a bigger worry for them, because if you do have an electric car with a reasonable bit of range, It's not a problem. Like, you don't worry about it. See you later.